Hello, I am Kevin Wilson, the science teacher at Millbrook Junior High. I teach grades 5 through 8. Today we're going to look at the website and how it can help you and your student navigate our school. First, on the screen, you see the website, sites.google.com/mc-66.org/mr-wilson-5-8-science/home. Clicking on it will take you to the website. Mr. Wilson 5 through 8 Science, Dr. Awesome Sauce's Awesome Sauce, Science Lab of Awesome Sauce. Underneath it, the website will open in a different window when you click in the upper right corner. On the website, we are primarily concerned with your student's grade level. We will start with grade 5. Opening grade 5 takes us to our file cabinet. Pressing present leads us to the files that we need to succeed in class. First, we'll look at the syllabus. Opening the drawer and Topic A syllabus brings us to the link for the 5th grade syllabus. The syllabus tells the student and parent what to expect each year in science. These include a welcome, how to show respect, responsibility, basic school rules such as tardies, absences, homework, tests, quiz, consequences, extra help, food, drink, cell phone. These are different during this academic year than they would normally be, but they're traditional. You can read through them at your leisure. Some tips to succeed for all students, no matter the grade level. Make sure you take notes. Make sure you read what you're asked to do, especially this year as we experiment with a flipped classroom. Our flipped classroom requires students to read or do work before class so that work can then be discussed in the next class. If you're confused with the concept, see me. This also includes emailing me. Remember, I am kwilson2@ncsd66.org. It is important that you do include the 2. Stay current on concepts and due dates. Use the website, Planbook EDU, the Student Planner, or Remind. When you sign up for Remind, you will get messages about important upcoming days, such as days off of school, remote learning, links to Zoom and Meet meetings, and important due dates for long-term projects. In 5th grade, we start with lab safety and metric measuring, which we have completed. Scientific skills are taught throughout the year. Matter and energy flow in an ecosystem is going on now. We are almost done with our first chapter of that unit. Observing our sky follows, and then human impact on Earth systems and interactions in matter. Each one of these is roughly a quarter long, although due to time off and time spent on other topics, we may not get through all the topics in 1 quarter. Every Friday, we practice our executive functioning skills using a study skills curriculum. Closing that and going back to our file cabinet, we see the next cabinet is Google Classroom. Topic E brings us to the Google Classroom and a link to 5th grade Google Classroom. If you don't want to go to 5th grade Google Classroom for science, click on the 3 bars at the top. Click on Classes, and that takes you to all the classes that I have access for. 5, 6, 7, 8 Science, Fine Arts 5, 6, 7, 8, Math 6, ELA 6, as well as 6 Rotation, which is coding, and 6 SEL, Social Emotional Learning, which we do every Thursday. In Google Classroom, upon opening it, you see the stream. This is something that allows students and teachers to communicate. I may post a question here or a reminder of due dates. This is not where you find assignments. You can see an upcoming due Friday. So due this Friday, the 25th, week 6 question of the day is due. And we're going to take a look at that now. If you would like to join it, you would enter this code on Google Classroom. Pressing the square makes it bigger, or you can copy the invite link. In Classroom, classwork, one of the first things we see is our weekly agenda. This agenda is set up so students can see each day what is done in class and what is expected for homework. They should also be able to discuss with parents when they get home not only what they did in class, but why they did it. Today we worked on compare and order decimals. Students will round decimals to the nearest tenth or 100th. In class, we worked on our mission log, action plan, and math connections. We completed that in class today. It was not a grade, but classwork, so students do not need to turn it in. Our question of the week focuses on what is our big idea for this chapter? Other than for heat, how do animals depend on the sun? And our homework, question of the day, is due on Friday the 25th. Which brings us back to our class work. Our next subject is help. This is where we can find the syllabus we just looked at, policies and procedures signature sheet, the website, the remote learning schedule, office hours for Zoom. I have office hours from 2 to 3 on Wednesdays. Anybody can come into that Zoom. There's a link to the Planbook so you know what's coming up. Here is the questions of the day. This week's questions of the day are ordered. Each day is tied to that day's lesson. So the question today was, why do you compare and order decimals? We worked with that in class. Students should include, their first and last names. The C always stands for claim. This is a one-sentence answer. Today, they saw an example of the E, evidence. This was shown in the Math Connections worksheet on STEM scopes. Where does a student find this? And R, reasoning. Why does it matter that we did Math Connections worksheet that showed us how to compare and order decimals? How does that prove that your statement is true? And students do this for each day, Monday through Thursday, due on Friday. This is 20 points towards your participation grade each week. Each question of the day is worth 5 points. STEM Scopes includes everything we need for STEM Scopes and the login to the curriculum. And then we start going through our units. Metric, safety, and scientific method lab equipment. We did that. We're done with it. Google Apps. We did that. It's been graded and returned. Skills. At any time, if a student or you forgets what CER is, you can always go in and look at it and put it together, including how race and CER, restate, answer, cite, explain, claim, evidence, reasoning. Race is an elementary school procedure. CER is middle school. And here are some sentence starters students can use for their claim, their evidence, and their reasoning. So all they do is fill in the blanks, which should help most students figure out how to do it. There are also how to do annotations, and then our Genius Hour website, all of which are available for you to peruse at your leisure. Closing our Google Classroom, we next come to our agenda. Opening our agenda leads us to the link that we have already seen. This will change every week. This is day by day what we are doing in class, what students should be able to do by the end of class, and what homework is there. Wednesdays are remote learning. That is our What If Wednesday, and that will be where our experiments happen this year because students cannot share lab equipment, and we do not have enough lab equipment for every single student to have their own. We will be watching demonstrations, both ones I do here at the school, as well as videos that show what the student would be doing in an experiment. And we will go through the questions together. Closing our cabinet drawer. Going to our next one is the STEM Scopes login. Clicking on that brings us to STEM Scopes. Each student has their own name and password. Perhaps refreshing it would help. Yep. Sometimes it gets stuck. That happens. When your student opens it, they will see all their assignments for that particular. If the assignment is there, they still have to do it. If they've submitted or turned it in, it's done. Some they do not turn in. Some they just save. Those are used as note-taking devices. All assessments in the science classroom are open notes. Anything that a student has done, they can use to help them answer the assessment questions. Our assessment cycle consists of multiple choice test, open-ended answer test, CER test, and then a final test that combines all of them. Students are given the option to pick which test, except for multiple choice, they want graded and put in the grade book, whichever one they feel most comfortable with that they did the best job on. Which leads us to our last drawer, Teacher Ease and Planbook EDU. Planbook EDU, following this link, will allow you to see what the plan looks like. So opening up this week's plan for 5th grade, you can see how similar, this is where our agenda comes from, what we're doing, and it's planned out 2 weeks in advance. So you can see what a student, where we're going with it, what a student should be doing. Going back to our next topic, Teacher Ease. Teacher Ease is again our grading system. You have a login, your student has a login, I have a login. This is where you find grades. This also has a link to email. It also has a link to behavior logs, lunch attendance. These are all things that you as parents and students can see and use. That brings us to the end of our file cabinet. Going back to our website, just some things you should be aware of. Clicking on the redo button brings us to redo, revise, retake. Any student at any time can redo, revise, or retake an assignment as long as they fill in this form. If this form is not filled out, I do not know that an assignment has been resubmitted and they are trying to get a better grade on it. I encourage students to use that growth mindset and to be better and to redo assignments, particularly if you get less than a 70% or you feel you did not give your best effort. Here are links to Google Classroom, Planbook, Teacher Ease, Textbook, STEM Scopes, and clicking on Find Me allows you to send me an email directly to my email, kwilson2@ncsd66.org. Remember the 2. That is very important. So this completes our curriculum night video. If you have any questions, please reach out again at kwilson2@ncsd66.org. Thank you and have a very good evening.